Hey everyone, it's Keto Karen, and in today's video I am going to break down all about the differences between the percentages for your fats and your protein. So first off, thank you so much for watching my YouTube channel. I truly love it, and I love the feedback and comments you all share with me. So if you're new to my channel, you can click subscribe below, and there's also a little bell there, and you can hit the bell if you want to get notifications when new videos come up. Also, you can comment below with any ideas or any tips or tricks that work for you on the keto diet. So, as I said, today we are going to talk about the differences between fats and proteins. So, there's lots of different opinions on how much fats and how much proteins you should eat. So, an actual ketogenic diet macronutrients would be anywhere between 70 to 80% fat. Most times it's around 70% fat. If you're getting more into a medical ketosis, what they would do medically for people like with epilepsy and those types of things, they go up to more like an 80% because the brain really needs as many ketones as it can get. But just like a nutritional ketosis for people that are metabolically pretty healthy, 70% is usually the number. And then you'd have like 5% carbs and around 25% proteins. Lately, you've been hearing a lot of people say that you're stalling and you're plateauing because you're eating too much fat, you need more protein. And then you'll have other people that say too much protein turns to glucose, and so then that will throw you out of ketosis. So, here's the deal as I know it. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a dietitian, I'm not a nutritionalist. I am, though, somebody who I have been like 4 or 5 years deep into this, listening to the top researchers. I've gone to Keto Academy 3 times, heard from the top people, and even they don't seem to know exactly what works for each person. So what I think is that we are all metabolically different, and we all have different things that work for us. I truly believe that people should be eating lots of vegetables, some healthy proteins, and some healthy fats, and make their macros work for them. So if I were to be going to the gym 3 or 4 hours a day, lifting heavy weights, like really ripping and tearing those muscles, which I don't. I wish I could, I just don't have, I don't want to be a bodybuilder, so I don't have that in me. I wish I did want to be a bodybuilder. I think that would be awesome, but I don't. But if I were going to the gym that much, then I would need a lot more protein than what I do right now. Right now, usually 4 or 5 days a week, I do anywhere between a half an hour to a 45-minute workout 4 or 5 times a week. So it's not crazy. I'm not doing crazy sets or anything. I am doing enough 15, 20 pounds for my bicep curls and those types of things. So I'm not I'm using weights, but that's not crazy. So I kind of just play with it. So there's weeks when I go on vacation and I might not do nearly as much weight training and that things. So those weeks I would probably need less protein than weeks that I'm very active and really using my muscles a lot more. Also, we have all unique genes. So some people, their genes, their metabolism does work a lot better with lots of protein than somebody else's. I personally do eat a lot of protein, but I have played with a lot of my numbers back and forth, and I do find when I'm super stressed, then it seems like I do need more fat to really help. I think stress and a lot of protein for me really spike my blood sugars, so then I really know to not try to eat as much protein. But I kind of play with it all the time. But I know that what works for me maybe in the summer might not work for the winter. But I do know that a lower carb, higher fat, moderate protein diet does work. So I don't know if that helps, but I just think people are over-analyzing it, and I think we are all different, and I think people just have to play with it. So if you're eating quite a bit of protein and you're plateauing, try to cut it back and add some more healthy fats. If you're eating lots of healthy fats and moderate protein, and you're plateaued, maybe cut back your fats and add a little protein. One thing I wouldn't, so if you're tracking your macros, and like I really like the app Carb Manager, and so it will show you your wheel, and it will show you how much protein, how much carbs, how much fat you've had. If you're really looking to get your wheel that you're 5% carbs, 20% protein and 75% fats, whatever it is. If you're like really high on proteins and you've eaten a lot of protein and you want to get your wheel like perfect, don't eat a bunch of fats that make it so that you're like now at 1,800 calories instead of 1,300 calories or whatever amount of calories you wanted. That day, if you've already eaten too much protein, then the next day just try to eat less protein and up your fat. So don't get stressed about the wheel. Just do the best you can, right? So try to hit your calories in, calories out does somewhat matter. I mean, you can't just eat 2,000 or 3,000 calories, and if your metabolism is only going to utilize like 1,400 calories that day, you will store the extra. So calories do somewhat matter on a ketogenic diet. They don't matter as much as on like a standard American diet, but because you're not creating insulin, and insulin is a fat storage hormone. But I just don't want, I know sometimes people will be like, oh, I ate too much protein, so now I have to eat more fat, and then they've got way too many calories that day. Just play with it, and every day, this is a journey, this is a step. We all make mistakes, and it's not even a mistake, it's just growing and learning. So don't overthink it, but just keep entering it. I say this all the time. I personally think if somebody's really struggling with their calories and their macros, just the night before, just go into Carb Manager and play with it, add the foods you like, and do what works for you, and see, okay, I'm hitting my calories, I'm hitting my macros. So you could go in and you could say, okay, I'm going to have a fatty coffee, and put in whatever you're going to put in your coffee. Lunchtime, I'm going to have 2 eggs and a large salad with a little bit of oil and balsamic vinegar. Put those things in. For supper, I'm going to have a bunch of roasted Brussels sprouts and a piece of salmon. And, put like 4 ounces of salmon, or whatever size you're going to have. And then look at it and see how your wheel is. So then the next day, you're going to get up and look at it and say, okay, this is what I'm having for breakfast, right? Do that. This is what I'm having for lunch. And do that and say, like, am I full? Have I drank enough water? And that can really help. It can be like your little personal trainer. And then that night, put in what you're going to eat the next day. See how the macros work. Get up the next day. Use that as your guide. So anyway, I hope that helps. Please comment below and enjoy the rest of your day.